go YouTube and hope YouTube stays up. It's up now. Let's see if it stays up. Oh, let's go do that thing again. All right. So the other kitten has escaped. I feel like I'm cutting off my head over on YouTube. Don't know why. Hold on. The cats here have redecorated this room. Shall we say redecorated? That's a good way to say it. What should do? I think. How are we? Now I just have to find another cat and bring her back in here. All right. Oh, let's see. What's going on? So I've been thinking, there's so many things that we haven't done in a while. I don't know why. I just sort of, I don't want to say I forgot about them, but I kind of forgot about them. And the one kitten is already getting interested in the computer and stuff, so. So I'm going to incorporate some of the things that we haven't done in a little while today. And then kind of keep that going for the next few weeks, whatever, until I forget about them again. Or until I integrate them more into a regular practice. So, 1 second. I don't have still. Okay. I don't know where she is, hopefully. Come on, Benny. So the one has decided she's a big girl and she goes and travels through the upstairs anyway, as long as the dogs aren't around. But she's kind of got big pants on. So, all right, we're good to go. Ready. Remember that if I incorporate something that you're like, what the? And it's just not working out today, don't worry about it. Don't do it. Right? Skip it. I usually talk about modifications, so if the modification works for you, lovely. So let's go ahead and begin here with the feet up underneath the hip bones. Check in that your toes point forward, and then press down into your feet and really make those muscles work. Little tuck of the tailbone so your lower back feels long. The spine is really tall, crown of the head reaching for the ceiling. Go ahead and relax your shoulders down. Close your eyes. And just kind of check in. See what's going on with your body today. Remember just to take care of those areas if you've got a little injury or something just doesn't feel like the way you need it. You're skipping or modifying as you need. Finding your breath and just checking in at first. Breathing all through the nose, gradually expand the breath. The inhales get a little bigger, the exhales get a little deeper. Finding that nice, full, just beyond comfortable yoga breath. And remember that this is the important part of the yoga practice. This being present and centered and these lovely breaths that you have here, this beautiful posture, right? Making sure we don't lose that. As we begin to move, inhale, take the arms up to the ceiling. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Maybe look up if you like. Exhale, bring the hands back down. Do it again. And then once more. Inhale, come back up to the top. And we're just going to sway side to side. So the fingers interlace. You can rotate the palms toward the ceiling if you like. Exhale, tip yourself to the right. And then inhale, come on back to the middle. And exhale over to the left. So we're just going to go nice and easy like that with the upper body, with the breath. Trying to keep the feet really engaged into the floor. Nice and even, so it's just the upper body moving as much as possible, of course. Go ahead, once more on each side, moving into that stretch as deep as it's going to get for now. When you're back to center, release the hands back to the sides. And let's take those hands to the thighs here. Lean if you need to lean. We're coming over into a half fold kind of place. Again, hanging on. If this is a really deep stretch for you, then you're done. Right? Or maybe even back out of it a little bit. Otherwise, see if you can slowly make your way a little bit deeper into the fold. Leaning the hands on the thighs if you feel like you need to. You can maybe move down to the shins if that's you. If you can touch the floor, great. But think about what your spine is doing. If you're all bent over around, forget about touching the floor. It's just not that important. From here, we're going to make our way into an all fours position, if the kid will allow it. This is the new thing the last couple of days. So hands and knees, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Feeling even on the four corners of your hands, just like we talk about with our feet. Yeah. And then just some cat-cows, inhaling the belly toward the floor. Exhaling around the spine toward the ceiling. Just standing out like that. Connected to the breath. Once more in each direction. Finding your middle again here. Right? So let's take the right leg straight back. We want the heel in line with the hip. So the hips are square to the floor. Press through that heel as if you were standing on your right leg. And then take your left hand and stretch it forward. Nice long line, fingertips through that back heel. The belly's engaged. The head is in line with the spine. You're breathing, happy. Let's release that back down. And we will do the same thing on the second side. Left leg back, right arm forward. Releasing that side, we're going to add on to it. I'm going to go ahead and turn releasing here. So let's go back to that right leg and left arm, extending away from the body. With the breath here, we're going to add in some movement. So on an exhale, pull your elbow and knee together underneath your body. Give a squeeze in. Inhale, extend back out. And then exhale, take your arm over to the left and your leg around to the right here. Inhale back to the center, and we'll do it again. So exhaling elbow and knee. Inhaling as you reach away. Exhaling out to the sides. Inhaling back to center. Let's take a couple more flows like that, just smooth and gentle. When you're back to center, just go ahead and release hand and knee back to the mat. All right. So same idea on the second side, left leg and right arm. Adding in the movement when you're ready. So exhaling, elbow and knee squeeze. Inhaling, extend. Exhaling to the sides. Inhaling back to center. Again, just as smooth and controlled, connected to the breath as you can. Releasing it back down when you're through. And then go ahead and sit back into a child's pose. So you can absolutely have the hands back by the heels. Make yourself comfortable here for just a moment. Feel long through your spine. And if they're not already, go ahead and extend the arms out long. So same idea, still shoulder width apart, four corners of the hands even into the mat. This time we're going to slide forward into a kneeling plank. So the hips are in line with the shoulders and the knees here. Nice straight line. We're going to take the right foot over to the right side of the mat. So your knee is still on the floor, right? And then roll over onto this right side. So you're on your right hand with your right knee and your left foot in this nice long line. So side plank essentially. You can stay here. You can maybe move into a full side plank if that's fun, right? You can add all the fun things like extending the arm, lifting the left leg, any of the extras that you'd like. We're going to release that back down into our kneeling plank. All right, so the same exact thing on the second side. You may or may not add the same things, right? See how it goes. We're going to take this left foot out to the left, open the body to the right. And then the right hand on the hip or extending toward the ceiling, or you take your full side plank, lift the right leg. Again, any of the things. Release that back into your kneeling plank here. One more time back into child's pose. From here, lifting up into a down dog. And just like always in our first down dog, just wiggle and shift into it. Bicycle the heels. Letting yourself kind of settle into it. Press through those heels. Press the chest back. Let your head hang. Shift forward into a plank. And then drop over your heels over to the right. Side plank. right? So the knee can be down, right? Now the arm, you can lift the leg, all the fancy things, move back into your full plank and switch heels over to the left. Making your adjustments, adding or not. And then back to your plank and down dog. So from here, walking the feet to the hands, come back to our standing fold. And we'll play with our standing fold a little bit here. So regardless of whether you can touch the floor or not with a nice long spine, take your index and middle fingers and wrap them around your big toes, bending the knees if necessary. Right? Again, ideally the spine is nice and long. If it's not perfect, don't panic. So see if you can take the legs straighter. Either way, bend your elbows out to the sides. That kind of helps pull your shoulders back where they belong. And you can even add kind of pulling against your toes, feeling the belly move closer to the thighs. Keeping the knees bent if you need. We're going to release the right big toe and just bring that hand to the floor. It's just for balance here. Shift all your weight over into this right foot. Lift your left foot out to the side. Doesn't have to be a lot, doesn't have to be high, just up off the floor. Release that back down. And then we're going to switch. So release your left big toe, grab onto your right big toe again. Shift your weight left and lift the right leg out there. Release it. Releasing your toes entirely, go ahead and open your feet into a little bit of a straddle. So not big, right? Just a small little straddle. From there, take your hands and walk them over to the right. And the body will lean, and for now, let it. Back through the center and over to the left. Coming back to the middle and open the feet a step wider. Doesn't have to be crazy wide just yet. We want to keep the hips square to the floor though. So this time try not to lean, right? Taking the hands over to the right again. Whether you touch the floor, your shin, or whatever. Back through the middle and over to the left. Coming back to center. See about maybe taking the feet a step wider. And again, of course, just listen to your body. If it's too much, bring them back in, right? Toes are pointing forward here. We're keeping the feet even. This time we're going to take those fingers and interlace them behind the lower back. Pulling the shoulder blades together on your back, squeeze them tight. Stretch the knuckles away, feeling the shoulders move away from the ears. Maybe the hands will lift up off of your lower back, but don't panic if they don't. Let's release the hands. We're going to walk the hands around to the right foot here and step forward into the fold. You were probably still at the top of your mat, weren't you? Sorry about that. Anyway, folding at the top of your mat here. Let's take the hands, rest them on the thighs, and lift back up into that half fold place again. Just a little bit. So if you need to keep the hands leaning on the legs a lot, feel free to do that. We want to keep the legs straight and the hips over the ankles. Right? We don't want the knees bent and leaning back. So if you need to lean, you lean. Otherwise, if you don't really need to lean, take the hands back down the sides of your body here. So you got a straight line from the crown of your head to the tips of your fingers. Yeah. And if that's like, I can sleep like this, but okay. Maybe take your hands out to the sides. So the hands are in line with the shoulders. A lot of times they do this weird flying up and back thing. Just kind of check in. Notice if your legs are starting to bend or your hips are starting to shift back. If they are, move back a notch. But if they're not, see if you can take your arms forward. So the hands, head, shoulders, hips in this nice straight line. The legs are straight and your hips are over your ankles. Maybe. Wherever you are, bend your knees and make your way to chair. And you can change, right? Let's take one more breath in chair here. Inhaling, stretch to the ceiling, and release it all. So let's go ahead and take a standing back bend. Hands maybe supporting the lower back. We can interlace the fingers behind the back like we already did. Or of course you can adjust to cactus arms or arms extended as you go. So listen to your body. We're gonna tuck the tailbone under, hips stay over the ankles. Pull the shoulder blades together like we did before. And this time imagine lifting your chest to the ceiling. Keeping the head in line, so kind of mentally draw your chin towards your throat. Tendency is to sort of poke your chin toward the ceiling. But just keep it in a neutral position. And then adjust, right? Listening to your body, moving in or moving out. Listen to your breath. Can you breathe here? Kind of important. One more big breath. And then inhaling as we lift back up. Release the arms from wherever you had them. Take the hands back to the thighs and slowly back over into that half fold. And gently let yourself hang wherever your fold is. Little bend into the knees. And we're going to round up through the spine, back to standing again. All right. So let's take a short step back with the left foot, and we're going to work into a warrior one. All right. So the feet are like as if they were on train tracks. Right? So parallel to each other, toes pointing forward, and obviously not as wide as chain tracks. Good ones anyway. Bending into the right knee, keep the back heel on the ground. And you may have to adjust your feet. So check it out, see where they need to be. And then our lower body is like we need it to be for warrior one. Little tuck of the tailbone here, so the lower back feels long, the upper body is vertical, and maybe the arms reach. You can interlace behind the back or any of the fancy things like we did before. And if you'd like, you can add a little bit of that back bend idea. Just feeling steady and even on your feet is the point. Nice and easy, lifting the upper body back into that vertical place. Take the arms parallel to the floor, rotate the right arm over the right leg. Let your left toes turn out a little bit and probably open your feet a little wider. Looking into warrior two, making sure we can see that right big toe beyond the knee. Let's go ahead and bend the right arm, rest it on the thigh, bring the left arm up and over the ear. Ideally, a nice straight line between your left fingertips and your left heel. Go ahead and sink into the hips. So a lot of times everybody wants to reach for the floor, right? But that's not really where we're at. So we don't reach. And the arm can definitely dangle. I mean, obviously it's more work, listening to your body. And then releasing that over into lunge, step back to a plank. Taking our side plank again. So from the knees, the right foot moves out and we open up. Otherwise, the heels drop right. And we're in our side plank. Let's release that back to the middle. Step the right foot forward into a lunge again. Let's drop the back knee. And now bring the right hand to the inside of the foot here. So we can let the hips kind of shift a little bit, that left hip drop back some as we move. Because we want to think about this like that warrior that we were just in. When we talk about reaching for the floor. So the right hand is going to stay put. Bring the left hand to your hip and open your body toward the left here. So again, the hip kind of drops back a little bit. The more you press against this right leg, the more the body will move around. Keeping the right leg where it is, of course. See if you can snake your left hand behind your back, reaching for the outside of your right hip. And if that sounds like fun, take that right hand underneath the thigh, reach up, and see if you can find your fingers over there. And maybe you found them. And maybe you look like this and you're all smushed up. Open back up again. Release what you got. Woo. Up off that back knee, step forward into fold. And let yourself hang. All right, just bend in the knees. Let your head be loose. Bending back in through the knees if you're not already. And then rolling the spine all the way up again. So, second side, same idea. See what happens over here. So that short step back with the right foot. All 10 toes point forward. Keeping the right heel on the floor, bending into the left knee. Hips are square. And when you're ready for it, adding in your arms. The back bend, if you like the back bend. And bringing the body, or the upper body upright again. Opening the arms, making our way that warrior two. Check in. Make sure your feet are where they need to be for this one. Bending the left arm, rested on the thigh, right arm up and over the ear. Sinking into your hips. And just kind of noticing how the body is as open to the side as it can be here. And that's really what we're going for when we have that bind going on. So if you feel all squished up in it, don't worry about catching your fingers behind your back or behind your hip, really. So we're going to release this here over into our lunge again. Stepping back to plank. Dropping to the knees if you need to be on the knees. And opening out to the right here. So the heels left or the foot left. Back into plank. Stepping the right foot forward, left foot forward into our lunge again. Dropping the back knee. So the left hand on the inside of the foot, same idea over on this side. Bringing your right hand to the hip, opening the body. And again, that right hip is going to drop back, so let it. And this is good, right? If you want to play a little bit, the right hand to the outside of the left hip. Left hand underneath. So sometimes you got to wiggle a little bit to get that elbow bent around there. Otherwise it feels like, how does that elbow bend? Okay. And maybe you find your fingers, maybe you do not find your fingers. Either way, keeping the body open to the side, breathing. And then releasing what you got. Coming up off the back knee, step forward, fold. Hang out. And then bending into the knees if they're not already, roll on up through the spine again. All right. So let's go ahead and take our standing balance. If you want to be off your mat or near a wall, that's fine. Just making your way to where you need to be. And remember that here anyway, standing tall and being on one foot is balancing. Right? So we're going to take all the weight over into the right foot and just lift the left knee. This might be as good as it gets, and it's totally fine. Stand up nice and tall. You can take the hands and maybe interlace behind the thigh to help. And if you're doing that, that's fine. See if you can lift it up, like higher. And maybe you can reach to the front of your shin. You're still standing up tall? And then maybe if it sounds like fun, find your foot and extend your leg. So you're still standing up nice and tall. Yes, the left leg does not have to be straight. Gently release what you got. And we'll try the second side. I have new neighbors, and the old ones had an electric lawnmower. Apparently these guys don't. So sorry for the noise. All the way over to the left, lifting the right leg. Holding here, hanging on, bringing the shin in, extending the leg, any of the things, right? See what happens. Remember that we're standing tall on one foot. That is the deal. Releasing what you got here. And then coming back to the top of your mat. Let's reach the arms up. Take yourself over into the fold again. Stepping back into a down dog. And then dropping down into child's pose. So from child's pose, let's slide forward up onto the belly. Good night. So we've been playing with those side planks, and you would think on the floor things might be easier. Maybe not. So the idea of a side plank, but only on the floor. So I like to extend my right arm out so that when I roll to the right, my head can rest. If you need like your elbow propped up or whatever, that's fine too. But check out that you've now just created a standing position on your side. And a lot of people wobble. And that's fine. Flex your feet nice and firm as if you were standing up. From there, if you need your hand on the floor in front of you, that's fine for balance. From there, see about bringing your left foot, the inside of your right leg as if you were in tree pose. So the knee is pointing up toward the ceiling as much as you can manage. That right leg is nice and straight and strong, as if you were still standing on it. And then if that sounds like fun, you can reach and just kind of hook onto this left shin, bringing that leg up, kind of like we did with it in front. Maybe bend your foot and take the leg straight-ish without falling over. But if you do roll over, you don't have anywhere to fall, right? You're good. Try and keep the body as if you were still standing upright, not your buns way back behind you and your leg way forward in front. Slowly release what you got here. And move to your belly. And then you do the same thing on the second side. So roll yourself over to the left and just take a little second to feel aligned, right? I would say look down at your feet, but that makes you squeak. That throws you all off anyway. Right? So just feeling the alignment, tucking the tailbone, making the legs nice and straight. Again, propping your head if you feel like you need to prop your head for sure. Find where you're balanced. And then add the extras, maybe. So maybe it's just simply bringing the foot in. And in tree, we would worry about that foot on the knee, but you don't have to worry about that so much here. Finding your balance, and then maybe adding on. Or not. So wherever you are, go ahead and release back to your belly. And if you wobble, that's normal. I might go my hair. From here, elbows in tight to the sides. Press yourself up and back. Child's pose. So, and we might have even done that pose where we're laying on the side. We might have even done that standing up. So if you've done it standing up, should be a breeze laying down, right? So let's go ahead and come sit up on the heels and bring the legs around front. So the legs extended out long. Upper body is upright. Feet are flexed, pointing toward the ceiling. We're going to reach the arms up and fold over the legs. So whether you touch your toes or not, don't worry about it. Working to keep the spine straight and aligned, nice and long. One more breath over here. Inhaling as we lift the upper body. Release the arms. And we're going to bring this right foot to the inside of the left leg. Keeping the hips as square to the front as you can for now. And we're going to fold directly over the left leg. Another nice big breath. Hinging back up. This time, keep your pelvis level and even on the floor. Rotate your belly towards your right leg, and then fold over the right leg. So if you're like 90% of people, you kind of rolled up off that left cheek, right? Keep it down. So the fold might not be very big. I like to use my hands against the floor a little bit. It helps keep my hips square, helps me lengthen my spine, helps keep this left cheek on the floor. And then hinge back up from there. Switch sides. So starting again with this left foot just to the inside of the thigh, folding forward. Hinging back up. And then folding to the left. And again, right cheek stays glued, the belly rotates, but everything else stays the same. Again, using your hands if that helps. And then hinging back up again and taking the leg straight. So we're gonna take the feet to the floor, hanging onto the hamstrings. Okay. Keep the chest lifted, shoulders down and back, and then maybe just lift your toes away from the floor. Hang on as much or as little as you'd like here. Maybe the shins go parallel to the floor. Maybe the legs go straight. And again, you hang on or let go in any one of those places. You need to keep your balance. And wherever you are, try to at least make your belly work harder than your arms. Wherever you are, bring the soles of your feet together. Reach down and grab for your ankles. Keeping the chest lifted so you keep your balance. And then without releasing your feet to the floor, take your index and middle fingers and wrap them around your big toes. Keep your chest lifted, your belly's working. Can you take your right leg straight-ish? Bring it back in and switch. Bring that side back in and then extend them both. Maybe straight-ish, keeping the chest lifted, your belly's doing most of the work, because then we're gonna bring the legs back together and let go. Straighter bit. Your knees back in, hang on to your hamstrings, roll on down to your back. Bringing the knees in and then just rocking. So a little bit more for the abdominals here. We're going to take the feet flat to the floor. No, we're not. We're going to have the knees over the hips with the shins parallel to the floor. Take your arms and extend them up toward the ceiling. Let's leave the arms out of it at first. So just arms wherever. You're going to keep the right knee bent exactly the same amount. So 90-degree bend in the knee. Take your right heel toward the floor, and then bring it back up to the middle. Right switch, left heel to the side to side. Get even, so you're right and left. And then hug those knees into the chest. So you definitely want to feel those in your lower abdominals, not your back, not using the upper abdominals. A lot of times we ground the upper body to help, but that's not really the goal. So now we'll add in the arms. Okay? And it can get a little confusing, so just go really slow. The legs are going to do the exact same thing. So the shins, knees over the hips, the shins are parallel to the floor, the arms are reaching toward the ceiling, keeping your shoulders down. When your right heel moves toward the floor, your left thumb is coming to the floor overhead and then coming back to the middle. Left heel, right thumb overhead, and then center, right? So slow and controlled. So you can get the thumb and the heel to hit at the same time. Again, feeling this in your lower belly. We're gonna go once more on each side. When you're through, draw the knees into the chest and rock. Taking the feet flat to the floor. And then bring the soles of the feet together and let your knees just fall open to the side. Let that lower belly go. Bringing the knees back in. Let's extend the arms out into a T. And then taking this final twist, knees to the right, however you do it, whether your legs just fall to the side, whether you bring your knees into your chest, whether you shift your hips, straight legs, bent knees, crossed legs, whatever. A couple breaths over on this side, a couple more breaths over on this side. So if you want to make adjustments too. And then we're going to make your way back to the middle and switch sides. So as always, just remember to start at the same variation or whatever you want to call that, same type of twist. But then if you need to modify for this side, then modify. And taking just a couple more breaths over on this side. And making your way back to center again. Drawing the knees back into the chest. This time, hug them in tight and give yourself a squeeze. Releasing into a full body stretch. And then releasing that stretch, finding your way to Shavasana. Making the body comfortable wherever it needs to be, and then releasing the muscles. No more wiggling, no more fussing. Focusing solely on your breath again. Trying not to control it, but trying to stay aware of it. Just giving your body and mind just a few minutes to just rest. You can always stay in Shavasana longer if you'd like. If you're ready, begin to draw your breath deeper. Restoring movement to your body. Maybe keeping your eyes closed as you make your way back up to a seated position. Sitting well, bringing the palms to touch. Bowing to the light within. Namaste. So I always used to, not bash goat yoga, but like this isn't real yoga, right? Because you're constantly distracted. Kitten yoga going on right here. But it does keep you in the moment. Right? Your mind can't wander too far. So thanks for practicing with me today, you guys. Holler if there's anything that we haven't done in a little while that you want to see again, or you have suggestions or whatever. Right? Have a great weekend, even if yours is kind of gloomy like it is out here. Thanks, Ty. Have a good weekend.